Rar X3 Nuzzles pounces on you, ooh, ooh, you so warm. That could be a great start to this episode.
You couldn't help
Oh, yeah,
but
I
wish I
notice.
heard it.
You're bold.
Oh, baby, you so
Welcome.
warm, you so warm.
Welcome, everyone.
You're Nike. Ooh, that's Nike.
Welcome to... Okay, everyone shut up. Welcome to episode 67 of the Beyond Pixels podcast. Today, we are talking about the little-known conspiracy theories around VRChat. There's so little known that I just asked an AI to come up with the ideas, and they are hysterical. So how today's going to work, I'm going to read off bits of this. I'm going to read off the key points that it came up with, and then we're going to talk about each key point and how believable it is or how not believable and out off the wall it is. Okay, so we're gonna each rank them or come up with a consensus ranking of like 1 to 5. How real could it be? Okay, so
Sure.
Yes.
let me just make sure everything's running because I didn't check audio again.
I was gonna say, whatever you put
Okay,
out
yep,
there,
it's working.
is it okay if I put it into Grok and see what Grok says? And I'll read it in the voice of Alex Jones.
I think we have enough on this one for today. So, I'm just gonna read the little intro that it gave me because it's hilarious. All right, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will shake the very foundation of what you think you know about VRChat. The truth has been hidden in plain sight, and once you see it, there's no going back. That's the preface. VRChat conspiracy, the digital mind prison. You think VRChat's just a social platform? A fun escape into a world of avatars, memes, and questionable public lobby conversations?
I sure hope so.
That's what they want you to believe. In reality, VRChat is part of a massive experiment designed to reshape human consciousness and prepare us for a post-physical existence controlled by corporate overlords.
Holy.
Whoa!
Sounds
So
like they're
that is
turning
the
more than the
general-
Frog's Gate.
That is the general overview of what this is all going to be about today.
Beer.
I had to, I'm sorry.
So,
Oh, that added
let's start with fact number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
The mysterious origins of VRChat. No one really knows how VRChat exploded in popularity so quickly. Sure, they'll tell you it was just a quirky social platform that gained traction thanks to memes. Ugandan Knuckles. But who was really behind it? Dig deep and you'll find that its rise coincides suspiciously with major advancements in AI and virtual reality tracking. The end game? To train AI using human behavior in virtual environments. So when the time comes, they can fully replicate us. So how believable is that?
Okay, so
Were the
from my
developers of VRChat also quirky?
Okay, so from my understanding, at least, I can't remember if this is correct. I might be fact-checked, even in the comment section on YouTube. By the way, like and subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. But I will say, from my earliest research on VRChat, it was actually a college project that started back in as far back as 2014 and didn't get perfected until 2016. I mean, like I say, I'd have to be fact-checked on that one, but it started as a college project between a bunch of students at a university. That's what I was told.
But VRChat's exploding actually very much did coincide with the rise of AI. That is true. VRChat exploding 9 years ago now was almost perfectly in line with generative AI.
I mean, yeah, it lines up.
So
It does
yeah.
line up, yeah.
So it lines up. Like, why would VRChat explode at the same time as that? Is there any actual reason why VRChat should have exploded at the same time as that?
Coincidence? I think not.
Well, I mean, also-
Exactly.
Well, I mean, also you have to look at what was popular back in 2014. I think it was Five Nights at Freddy's was like the most popular game at the time in 2014, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came out the same year. So, for VRChat to explode like maybe a couple years later in 2016, I guess when
It's weird.
Oculus was actually becoming more refined.
Yeah, so it doesn't coincide with the creation of VR, but it does coincide with the more advanced headsets and headsets becoming more advanced, and that all just lines right up with VRChat and VRChat's popularity. Coincidence?
Actually, I need to look this
Yeah,
up.
I don't
Hold up.
think so.
When did the HTC Vive?
The Vive
Well,
came
it's an
out in
augmented reality.
2017 or 2016 or 2017, I think.
debut?
I feel like VR is just a
Oh,
natural
we're talking about Vive. I
progression
thought we were
from
talking about
augmented.
the original Quest.
HTC
Anyway.
Vive release date was April 5th of 2016.
That was 5 days
Yeah,
ago.
but then VRChat didn't explode until 2 years later.
Well, yeah,
Strange.
in terms of
It's all
Because it had to build its
strange, isn't it?
popularity.
well, there was streaming going on in 2017, but this was like amongst Oculus users and people who could afford the HTC Vive at the time. It
Anyway,
was at
let's
the
go
time
on.
it was $800.
Let's go on to fact number 2. The simulation within a simulation. Ever noticed how VRChat's avatars and worlds feel eerily real at times, despite being low poly or stylized? That's because VRChat is running a secondary simulation inside our own reality. It's a controlled test environment where human interaction is monitored, manipulated, and studied. Why? Because the people behind VRChat aren't just game developers. They're preparing society for digital consciousness uploads.
You see, people, I tried to tell you from the very beginning, you're in the middle of a zoo. It's run by the government, it's run by the suits in black ties.
We're in the Matrix!
No, that one is
Mr.
also
Anderson!
crazily fucking close because VRChat interactions in VRChat don't feel the same, or they aren't the same as interactions IRL, but they feel the same.
They do feel
Yeah,
the same,
I can sit
yes.
here and cuss you
I can
out,
see
and you
that,
can't do
yeah.
shit to me. But if I sit here and cuss you out in real life, you could smack the fuck out of me.
And that
There
goes
is
back
some truth
to
that, but
that goes back to an episode we did a couple of weeks ago of anonymity on VR. But you can go
I
watch
think
that
that's where the
episode in full.
social. I think that's where
Anonymity?
the whole social and human interaction being monitored and manipulated. That's what all of that's doing.
Oh yeah.
See, there is a very large amount of truth to this shit, and the first time I read this stuff, I was like, no fucking way. Why is this so accurate?
I know AI is pretty fucking wild. Because they actually what they're doing is they're actually going through every single website and also searching through also forums, even from Kiwi Farms, from Reddit, from all these different platforms, and they're compiling all this information to give you what you're asking for. So they're making it as accurate as they possibly can. It's like
Okay.
it's almost being centered.
So, fact number 3. The Quest conspiracy. When VRChat started, it was a PC-only experience, full of limitless creativity and freedom. Then, suddenly, the Quest 2 takeover happened. They introduced hardware that limited certain avatars and interactions, forcing users onto a more controlled ecosystem. This was never about accessibility. It was about stripping users of their ability to think freely and condition them into accepting a corporatized metaverse. The end goal? Total control over the digital landscape where we'll soon be forced to exist full time. That one also is...
Wait,
It's
Very
basically...
far-fetched.
Yeah,
No, this one's got some truth to it as well. Why is the Quest so limited? It's actually much more performant, and it can do so much more than VRChat is allowing it to do. VRChat is artificially limiting what the Quest is able to do, especially when it comes to shaders on avatars, for not much reason.
So we don't get a Sword Art Online event. So our heads don't get microwaved off.
That could be.
That could be.
I would
When the
mostly say that
Quest-
it's trying to.
Shut up, somebody. Nobody cares.
Wow.
damn. Okay.
So
Quest
be
originally
talk.
came out and VRChat was put on it. It didn't limit it as much as what we have now. Because now they can't run shaders, they can't run particles, only certain particles if it's actually allowed.
You can't.
And
I don't
all
think you
of
can have
it-
sound on your avatars either on Quest.
Nope. You can't have that either. It is actually the sound bar in your menu is completely removed on Quest.
Could it also be like a means of like a competitive aspect? Like, think about this for a second. Let me just throw this out there. Like, let's say HTC and Valve. Like, most people have Valve, Index headsets and controllers and all of this stuff. Or they still run the HTC material, like I do. Would it be like really like, because it is developed by a competitor like Facebook, which is like largely promoting more meta than VRChat, like an alternative to VRChat, which is like an alternative VR platform. So VRChat is purposely limiting what Quest users can do in order to actually like get them to purchase something better.
That could be. That very well could be.
I think that really is
Especially-
very strong.
Especially with VRChat being heavily funded by HTC in the early days.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. They're still a sponsor, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's a sponsor. I think it's a partner. I believe Meta gave VRChat a bunch of money specifically to get the Quest on VRChat. But I don't believe Meta is still a partner with VRChat. There's just the VRChat's now benefiting from it being on the Quest as well, with the money coming in from subscriptions and things.
Yeah, I'm
So-
not entirely sure if they're working with it.
Okay,
Before we
VRChat,
go on to fact number 4, I want to rank the first 3, 1 to 5. How believable and how real are they? When you bundle them all 3 together.
When we combined them all together,
Yeah, when you combine those 3 facts that are trying to prove that VRChat is a digital mind prison.
from what numbers to
I
what
think-
numbers?
1 to 5 is the ranking.
I'll go
1 being
with
not at all believable, not at all real. 5 being shit's fucking going down.
By
I'll
the way,
go with
can
the 2.7.
I'm thinking about a 4. It's like a 3.5 to 4. There is a lot of validity behind these.
I don't understand the whole quest limitation thing because I think it's more performance issues when it first released. It didn't have those limitations. Quest was pretty much as
Debunking my conspiracy theories.
And here's the thing. I will say, if I could lean a little bit more on the Quest side of things, Quest users can't see my avatar because it's a PC avatar. So in order, like, for example, yeah, one of my best friends who is a Quest user, she can't see my avatar. So I have to switch to an avatar that she can see. Like, she can't see the avatar that you all can see right now.
It forces some control. It forces more control onto you.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I just want to point out that VRChat on Meta has a 3.7 star rate out of 5.
Right where I ranked the first 3 theories or facts.
I just wanted to put that out there because I actually looked it up.
Okay, so now we're all sort of in agreement. It's somewhere right in the middle. It's not like these are fake as fuck and there's no truth to them, and it's not. These
It
are
can be
perfectly
plausible
accurate.
given more time.
I'd give it a strong 4 in mine.
Given time, it could be more
I'm
plausible.
between 3.5 and 4. So I think overall we're all in agreement. It's somewhere between like 2.5 to 3.5 ish.
Yeah,
Let's just
varying
say-
a little bit.
let's just meet in the middle and say 3. Let's just meet in the middle and say 3.
VR
We can do
chat
that.
is. I feel like VR chat's slowly becoming it. People actually can make money off of doing shit in VR chat now, especially with the whole new currency that they have. It's been out for a while, but still makes no sense. With the whole currency thing, you can actually give it to the creators of the avatar or creators of the world, and they actually get paid from that.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay, so-
shocking.
Let's move on to point number 4. This one is. There's a reason I kept this one separate from the first 3 for our ranking system here.
Okay. I'm ready to hear it.
The ERP distraction.
Oh,
You think the biggest problem in VR chat is ERP. If you know what it is, you know what it is. If you don't, I'm not going to say it.
ask your
That's what they
mom.
want you to focus on. While everyone is busy debating over degeneracy in public lobbies, the real power players are implementing AI-driven psychological experiments. The avatars you interact with, some of them aren't even real people. They're AI constructs, designed to test how humans bond, argue, and manipulate one another in virtual spaces. It's all data for the coming metaverse takeover.
So you're telling me she was a robot?
All the sex you've ever had in VR chat is just a distraction to get you away from the entire truth, which is the fact that the government is coming in and wanting to make you gay as possible.
Okay, so let's be fucking real here.
Possible is crazy.
Let's be completely real here.
I love
How
my
do you
Alex.
actually know that all of the people you're interacting with in VR chat are real people and aren't AI? Fake users.
Well, I mean, we got social media for a reason, and it's a little too surreal right
But-
now for them to be AI, in my own opinion.
But those, let's specifically say those desktop mutes that barely
Okay.
move and just use their chat box.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
It is very plausible that that is AI
it-
communicating to you.
yes, but you also have VRChat's EAC. But now, unless you're talking about like an outside game controller, I mean,
So,
it could be possible. But at the
did you
same
know-
time, to code something like that,
So this is the craziest part. VRChat has directly implemented functions into VRChat that bypass EAC because they are actual core functions of VRChat that allow you to control your position, your rotation, your movements
This reminds me of Free
directly
Guy.
through OSC.
Yeah, I still think EAC
So-
is still bullshit.
We're not even talking about that. I'm just saying that the fact that EAC is there makes it a lot more difficult for someone to implement AI into it, yes.
But
But-
there's still a workaround.
There's built-in functions that allow for it.
Oh yeah, I believe you on that one.
That's
I
the
mean,
crazy part.
There's built-in functions. I mean, on EAC to get around all. So I mean, they did it on. They did it on not just this game.
Not EAC. Not EAC. Not built-in functions in EAC. Built-in functions into VRChat.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
VRChat directly built stuff in for you to control the player outside of VRChat with external programs.
Yeah, exactly. I remember this. I forget what it was
Between
called.
that
controller
And
evaluator.
what
simply
was it called?
watching, between that and watching the screen and listening, AI
Controller
can do
evaluator.
anything. AI can do anything that a desktop mute can do. And fuck, they don't even have to just be a mute, because have you heard the AI voices out there? Some of those voices are getting really, really good and extremely hard to differentiate between real people. So
Yeah,
there is so much validity to this one.
Oh yeah, was it LTCGI? Is that what I'm thinking of?
There is so much validity, especially with there being a few projects in VRChat or around VRChat for you to
Man down.
create your own AI user following you around in VRChat. There is
Wait,
so much validity.
wait. So that means, by technical term, people can have AI-made cat girls follow them around.
Yes, 100% possible.
We need this now!
Just
Bro,
wait for
there's
VRChat to allow it.
No, there's already a world that you can go into where there are AI characters that you can interact with. They're NPCs, but you interact with them through
You
Discord.
fuck them.
I don't know. I haven't tested that.
Why would you?
Why would I want to test
I
that,
don't
bro?
want to know. I don't wanna
Okay.
know.
So that
That's supposed to be
Let's
a committee
rank-
response.
that fact on its validity and it's
A 2.
how real do you think that one is? Because I am scared that one has to be like a 4.5.
By the way, also,
No.
just
I feel
a
like
random
there
fact:
is-
the world that I'm talking about, every single cat girl and every single avatar are maids. Just so we're clear.
Nice. But anyways, Charles,
Okay, but-
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I don't think it's that high. It's just even with current technology, yes, it is possible that there could be one roaming in VRChat. But for it to stay
It's not
online
just
24/7
possible.
and connect with people and like hang out with people and stuff,
It already
that's
happens.
a lot. And I just don't.
I know of at least one that has been made public
One.
and is publicly known. One that is public and publicly known.
Are you
How
talking
many
about,
more are there?
So at this point, it would be on VRChat to actually help us, the players, distinguish AI from real players.
But that's the theory, though, that VRChat is allowing and accepting and promoting that as a way to teach AI off of player interactions.
In other words, we're giving them the knowledge, we're giving them the information, and they're building their database off of us. Ah,
And VRChat has all of our tracking data.
so
They could easily be training AI on our tracking data to then input that into the already functional desktop AIs. We've proven,
Copilot.
we know fully that desktop AIs are a thing and
Oh, yeah.
are roaming VRChat.
NPC
That is a
AIs
that is
are
a
thing.
simple fact.
So there are certain trackers, like full body trackers, that do actually track everything. It even is on the program itself. I believe, I can't remember if Slime does it or not. But they could use that data and implement it in a way to where
By
the
us
AI
being
can
in
follow that.
VRChat, we are giving VRChat all of our tracking points, whether you're in full body or half body. You are giving VRChat all of those tracking data points: your head, your hands, if you're in full body, your hip, your feet.
Not my feet. They gotta pay for that.
Hey, go
Anyway,
fill the
so
fill the red spot.
I think
That says
that
looking
one
empty.
has more validity than the
I
rest
guess you stole it.
so far. That one has to be like a 4, 4.5 on the validity scale.
I would say, yeah. If I had to give it a rating, I'm not giving it a 4.5. I will go 4.3. That's what I'll give it. I'm not going full on.
I'm not going any higher than a 3 on this
I
one.
think there is a possibility, but I don't think it's likely to happen for another couple of years.
I agree
yeah,
with you,
AI
Fuzzy. I think this one's
is-
like a 3.
I am sure it's already
I think
happening.
Okay, so to actually combat what Foxy said, I just had a conversation with Grok a couple weeks ago, and I can tell you, I think AI is really catching up with the human brain in terms of, like, if you talk about your problems and you actually specifically tell them exactly what is wrong, they are willing to compile an entire paragraph and give you a full synopsis of what they just heard accurately to the letter and just say, okay, this is what I understand. I think we're well beyond the point. Like, AI is growing so much stronger than you realize. And I think if you say a couple years, AI is going to be like, they're going to make all of us look like retards.
Who are you
Okay.
calling a...
Bad word. Don't use that word.
Yes, sir.
Let's go on to fact number 5. The instance phenomenon. Are we in a multiverse experiment? You know how VRChat runs on instances? Every world has multiple copies, each containing different people. That might sound like a simple multiplayer system, but what if I
Persistence.
told you it's actually a multiversal simulation experiment? Think about it. What better way
Wait,
to study
Turtle.
human behavior than by creating a parallel realities with where different versions of the same event unfold? Researchers or AI overlords can analyze how different groups react to the same environment, how a single person changes depending on who they interact with, how users build relationships or conflict in a system of infinite parallel worlds. Now, think of this too. Why does VRChat not allow a true single-player mode? Why must we always be networked, connected to their systems? Because even when you're alone in an instance, you're not. They're still watching you.
I was gonna mention the that one thing we talked about a long while back where, like, VR chat was nothing but just one world, but you would have to, like, walk down and stuff to, like, get to the world you wanted to go to, and it would just be infinitely expanding, just like the universe. Rather than being multiversal, like we were saying, like, I feel like that would be a really good point.
There's games that have thousands of people in one server, one world, all interacting. Why did VRChat decide instances must be tiny, must be small? Let's make 80 different Black Cat instances instead of a
Optimization.
couple.
They made it recently to where data
you can
transfers
claim.
from world
You
to
can
world.
boil it down and claim that it's optimization purposes, but it's been proven time and time again that it is possible with current technology to have more players in a single instance.
Yeah, but not everyone has current technology.
When I say current technology, I mean the technology that everyone is using in VR.
Oh, okay.
Computers with reasonable CPUs, the minimum specs for VRChat, anything like that.
Okay.
Current technology doesn't mean a GPU that came out yesterday, a CPU that came out last month. Doesn't even mean only things that came out this year. It's anything in the last 5 to 7 years is modern technology. And the craziest part, most of the weight of having more users in a single instance is not on the users that are in that instance. It's on the servers, and it's negligible to join two instances together compared to keeping them separate.
You got a point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't really argue against that one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a
So
really good
why
point.
why does VRChat keep us separate? Because someone somewhere is trying to learn how people interact. And it's so much easier to work on how people interact when you have less people in a single instance together. Why
that
are
why
there
we're still
3
in
mirrors? Why are there 5 mirrors in the black cat? And every
You
time
can
you go to a
develop
black
whole
cat, people separate out to those different mirrors, and you always have different groups doing different things at each one of those mirrors, even within the same instance.
Wait, Turtle, is that why we're still in beta? This is just a test?
Question: why are we still in
VRChat's
beta?
not in beta.
If
It
you're-
no
Well,
longer
whenever
says
you
beta
open
or
it
early
up,
access.
it says on the side, it says beta.
That's because you're in beta. You're in the beta.
I'm
build.
in the open beta.
Yeah, I'm also in the open beta.
VRChat as a whole is not a beta anymore. They might label it as beta because it's an ever-changing system.
Is that what they
I don't
want you to
believe it's-
think?
I don't believe it's marked as early access in Steam anymore, like it was when I first joined VRChat.
No, it is not marked as early access in Steam anymore.
Yeah, so VRChat is no longer
It
in
is
early
actually
access.
still marked as early access. It is in fact actually. Still,
Is it?
I just checked now.
Oh,
Really?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yes. I almost
Still
did a
early
screenshot in
access.
Discord.
maybe that's because the final release is going to be replacing all of
Our
us
brains.
with AI, or
Oh, yeah.
importing us directly into the game.
Let's say I leave.
That's what the
and
final
I
release
go
is
off-
going to be.
I leave and go do my own thing,
Guys,
know,
before
I
SAO
leave,
happens, take your
and then
headset
they have
off.
enough of.
Log
They
out.
have my data. They have my personality. They can create an AI generated version of myself, and now all of a sudden I become an NPC to VRChat.
So that exactly ties into fact number 6, the avatar data mining agenda. Ever notice how avatars
Yes.
feel alive in VRChat? The way people move, emote, and interact through avatars is being recorded and studied to create digital profiles of your personality, body language, and even subconscious habits. We've already
They're
proved that
robbing you of
VRChat
your
has all
personality.
of that data. Why? Because companies, governments, and AI developers want to create virtual clones of you. Facial tracking from advanced avatars maps human expressions. Full body tracking records how we move, dance, and react. Voice interaction data is used to refine the AI personalities. The end game? To build AI replicas that can replace humans in digital workspaces, VR economies, and even social relationships. They don't need people if they can simulate them.
Okay, so a way for me to combat that would be to run around screaming racial slurs. So this way,
But then it'll create a version of you that uses those types of words.
but at the same time, the also other learning systems would also adopt this.
Is that true?
I think it is, yeah.
How many
Or
versions
if-
would be
If
created?
it's
'Cause
creating
it
a
would-
version of you, if
It's creating a
an
version
AI
of me that
version
you
of
see right now. But if I ran into a public lobby and all they heard was N-word, N-word, N-word,
Edward? Edward?
Edward.
I think there is
My
way
my
more
question
validity
is-
to these theories.
My
there is a
question
lot of
would it-
validity. I
would it
mean, we've
make
talked about it for
multiple
quite some
copies
time.
Of me?
I believe
Would
there's
it
more
make one
probability
singular
than
copy
validity,
that
if anything.
updates?
I think
It
probability
Every
could create
thing.
multiple, or it could make one. We don't know. It depends. Do
How
they
would-
need another version of you to test interactions between other players, other people? Maybe.
How
That, then
would
we should be
me
given the
interacting with me
option
work?
to opt out of that.
But why
Would
would
they
they
just-
let you do that if they already own all of your data? You don't need to opt out of them owning all your data. If you did, you couldn't play VRChat.
Mm.
That's the catch-22. To
Yeah,
be
that's-
in a platform online in VR, you have to be giving them all of your tracking data. And they don't necessarily have to tell you every individual detail of what they are going to do with that tracking data.
I was about to ask if you were coming back, Sobi.
So here's another really, really good one.
What'd you say?
Fact number 7.
I was about to ask
Oh,
if you
the-
were coming back.
Fact number
Sorry.
7. The Phantom Sense cover-up. You've probably heard of Phantom Sense.
Yes.
The idea that people can feel sensations in VR even though their real body isn't experiencing anything. Science says it's just the brain adapting to virtual reality. But what if I told you it's something more sinister? Some theorists believe that Phantom Sense is proof that VR is rewiring our neurological pathways in ways we don't fully understand. Why do some people feel pain, heat, or cold in VR when there's no real stimulus? Why do certain worlds and avatars enhance Phantom Sense more than others? Could VRChat be a training ground to prepare people for full neural immersion, where the body is unnecessary? If they can make you feel something that isn't real, what else can they implant in your mind? Memories, emotions, entire personalities?
Wait a
Sure.
minute.
So basically,
We could become the smartest
if
people on the
Phantom
planet.
Sense, what if Phantom Sense is becoming a thing to replace our real senses,
Okay,
so
so
that
Turtle,
when they upload our brains
So it'd be like
into the game, we no longer need to worry about feeling our real body because we already feel in the game.
So what you're saying basically is we remove our 5 senses and we gain the 6th sense and use only the 6th sense. Is basically what you're telling me.
It's starting
Theoretically.
as replacing feel, but the fact that people can feel hot and cold, and some people feel things, it is just insane. There is
Well-
too much validity to this. I don't like that.
Well, Turtle, let me throw a variable in here because this is something that I actually, when I first got the Oculus, I actually, this is back in 2018, like when I first met you, like before I first met you, one of my first things that I wanted to do was like, let me see if I can actually overcome my fear of heights. And there was a map where I went to that was full of skyscrapers, and all you did was just walk to the edge and look down. And I still felt fear of falling. I still
Oh, I
felt
know
the
what you're
fear of
talking about.
falling, and I
Mhm.
still felt the fear of like falling to my death. Like that same sense is still like I got over that around 2021, 2022 because I realized at a certain point, okay, I can go onto this building. I'm going to fall off. If I do fall off, I'm not going to die. Nothing's going to happen. It's not real.
So it's
It's at that point.
rewiring our brains.
Yeah.
And that is
Mm,
that adds even more validity to this. I'm starting to get concerned with how valid some of these points actually are.
Tell me, what do you think about this one? You think this is like valid or
VRChat
not?
is replacing our
Like a 1 through
senses
5.
and
I
remapping them
I don't know.
for
I
the virtual
think
upload.
it's like a 1 for me because I got full body just to see if I could feel the rest of my arm, and that never happened.
That was. Wait, really?
But
That was like
it can't.
Yeah.
So you're trying to say that because it can't replicate something that doesn't exist in the real world, it's not valid at all for the things that it replicates already
Okay, about it too.
that
I
do
mean,
exist.
I
No, I
understand
had
other
full-
people feel.
I had
I'm
full
at like
body
a 4
and
and a half on this one again.
I had full body, and I had people
Give this
trying
one a
to
3.5.
say, "Do you feel this? Do you feel this? Do you feel this?" Now, when they came around, when they rubbed my legs, I didn't feel anything. But when they came close
Huh?
to my sensitive areas, like around my man parts, that's when I started to feel something. I was like, "No, do not put your hand there."
I mean, when I get intoxicated, I do feel like I can feel people touching me, but I mean, I can't replicate.
Oh,
it
sorry,
in
sorry.
Okay.
That was
anything,
me
so-
last night.
So this next one ties almost everything we've already talked about together into one piece.
Can we get my
Fact number 8. The moderation AI that knows too much. VRChat's trust and safety system is supposed to filter out malicious users. But have you ever wondered how the system knows so much about what's happening in private instances? Some users claim they've been banned for things they said in supposedly private worlds. AI-driven moderation can supposedly detect problematic behavior, even without clear evidence. Some bans happen within minutes, almost as if someone is always listening. Who's really watching? Some suspect VRChat is actually running a predictive AI surveillance program, flagging potentially problematic users based on voice analysis, avatar movements, and conversation patterns. If you've ever randomly lagged out of a session or had a strange disconnect at a key moment, you might have been flagged for observation.
Okay,
I
let me
believe it.
throw something in there real quick. Let me throw
I
something
believe
in there.
that one 100%.
Did
That one's a 5.
Yeah, that one is like 5. But let me throw you a curveball real fast. I don't know about the chances of it being like an AI, like focusing on every conversation at all at once, gathering all details. But remember when I got banned on both of my accounts? But only one of the accounts was the entire reason why I got banned, but the other one got banned too. And all of it strung down to one picture that was in a group of mine, right? But that group had that picture for over a year. So there was no reason for me to get banned for it because there were people with words and things much worse in banners. So why did I get flagged, but no one else got fucking flagged? Now,
That's
that
a
don't make no
manual.
fucking sense to me.
That's a manual thing. Yeah.
Or it could have
I'd
been
have to say-
automatic.
So you're fucking telling me that people with the N word and the hard R and like the P word and stuff up there on their banners is not a bannable offense, but the fucking word dick is a bannable offense, and it has no offensive use in the banner at all?
I don't know. It depends. How much money did you give VRChat? Because they may have given VRChat
They-
way more money than you did.
What are you fucking
I don't think the
talking
money
about?
has anything to do with it.
I don't think you understand what I'm talking about.
I
Money has
believe
nothing-
that when he got banned for that, what was it, like 2 weeks or something?
It was
1 week?
I got banned for 3 days. It was 3
Oh,
days
3 days.
on 2 accounts.
So when you got banned, that could be a key point where they kicked on another one of the AI moderation tools.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
And it just automatically flagged. Because now think, since then, has there been less group banners with bad things in it like that? Because I think there has.
I mean, but that was me.
I
I,
think
don't know
group
about
banners
everyone
have
else's
been much more
experience.
mild now.
Yeah, mine had to call.
Since
Like, I
then.
had to mod mine out because I can't afford to get banned again. If I get banned again, it'll be for a month.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. I think based on me looking at hundreds of people's banners since then, and there being a lot less bad banners and bad groups randomly visible in public worlds, I think they kicked on another AI at that time.
I mean,
So I don't
have
that one's a 5
I
for me.
believe
That
it.
one is a
I'm gonna
big
give that
5.
I won't give it a 5,
Y'all
but I will
have
definitely
fun
give it a
with your
4. That one will be my
conspiracy
highest rating.
I'm probably gonna sit in that
Dude.
corner. I don't know if I'll be back for the rest of the stream or not.
Yeah, that one, that's a 5 from me. Circuitry, where are you at on that one?
I'm very
I'm gonna give
close
that
to
one
a
a
5.
4.
I would say I'm gonna go above 4.5. I'm gonna say 4.8
I'm gonna
because
say that
there
a 4,
there
only
are
because
still
I've
more
had my own personal
questions that I have that are not answered, and I don't think anyone in this podcast can answer them.
I've been the only one here that's actually had an experience with this fucking AI shit. As far as I know.
Okay. Now let's go on to the final fact that I have for now. What if VRChat isn't just a game, but a prototype for a fully digital existence? The pieces are already in place. We've got avatars that represent us better than our real bodies. We've got social structures that exist entirely in VR. People spending more time in VRChat than in real life, especially when it comes to socializing. The final step, uploading consciousness into VR permanently. Once AI can fully replicate human thought patterns, emotions, memories, and memories, people will be given a choice. Live in a declining physical world full of limitations, or upload their mind into an endless digital paradise. Sounds tempting. It'll sound like freedom, but in reality, it's the ultimate
It's a
form of
prison.
control. Once your consciousness is uploaded, who owns you? Who can modify you? Who can
The Matrix.
delete you?
It's the Matrix.
What if we're already in the simulation and VRChat is just reminding us of the truth?
Well, right now we still have sentient thought. Like we're
do
not
we?
we're not a collective mind. We're not like the Borg from Star Trek. We are individuals.
we
with
have-
each evolved.
Or are we just AIs already in a simulation?
We're inside of a simulation. Inside of a simulation.
We're inside of a simulation, but at the same time, the simulation doesn't dictate what we do with our selves and our bodies.
And that
currently.
is AI. No, circuitry, you're not getting what I'm saying at all. You're not getting what this whole thing is about. Let me read that last bit again for you.
Okay. Maybe I missed it.
What if we're already in the simulation and VRChat is just reminding us of the truth? We are already in the simulation. We are all us as we are. We're playing VRChat already in a simulation. Take your headset off. You're still in a simulation. VRChat's just
okay, I
reminding
get it.
us of the simulation that we're already in. Can
Have
we
you
ever
ever-
prove that we're not in a
I do have a
simulation?
question.
Pretty sure
I
science
do have a
has
question.
relatively
I do have a
few
question
that
because all of us
theory.
have done this before, and I think it's happened to me. Have you ever taken the headset off, but then you're driving to work or you're driving to the grocery store or anything like that? You're walking around the grocery store
Your
or you're
body
walking
is like,
around work,
like wobbling, right?
and all of a sudden
Your body's
you
wobbling a little
actually you actually reach for the invisible headset and try to take it
Mhm.
off.
Oh!
Have you all done that?
Okay.
I've done that.
Because I've done that.
But
I've done that. I've actually
done
reached
that.
for my invisible headset that's not on me in my
Okay, so
own
wait.
job.
wait, I have
I've done
something similar to
that.
that.
I have also flipped my hand forward thinking I'm going to see my computer screen here.
Fucking
It
Sword
wasn't
Art
there.
Online. All this shit is
Oh, yeah.
tying back to Sword Art Online, where you flick the fucking air and your menu pops up in front of you.
Oh yeah, I've looked at my, because I had my chat when I streamed on VRChat. I streamed. I had chat on my left hand, and I actually would flip my left hand to see if there was chat there.
Yep. Especially in my first month in VR, I did that so many times outside of VR.
I did it.
I would just
also
flip my hand and be like, "Oh wait, I'm not in VR chat."
I'm not in VRChat. I'm not live. I'm not even in VR. So why did I just do that? Was it
Exactly.
impulse? Was it like force of habit?
Or
Habit.
is it
Force
is it
more than-
something
I'd say
leaking
force of
through from the real simulation above us, and we're just the AIs being partially controlled by a person in the universe above us?
See, I always crossed it off as just being a part of habit. You know, just like naturally, like anytime that I test everything, it's just like, okay, everything's good. Flip my hand over. Okay, all right, everything's good. Everything's just fine.
But if that was true, why did it happen to me after just a day of me being in VR and having something on my
I
hand like
think you were
that?
just really.
See, it didn't
Why
happen
did
to
I
me after a day
immediately
of
the
VR.
next day? But it
be
did
fair,
to
it's
me.
never happened to me. I've never had that experience where I
Okay.
took my
the
tried
only-
to take a headset off that wasn't there.
Okay, the only experience I've ever had, something like, again, mine is similar, not the same, but for me, because I've wore glasses my entire life, like, not, like, if I take my glasses off, I still, like, my brain doesn't think I'm not wearing them. So when I try to reach, like, for, like, out of habit to, like, reposition my glasses, because I have to do that a lot, I go to reach for my glasses to either pull them off, like, if I'm going to go and take a shower, or, like, I can't see right, I'll reposition my glasses, but they're not there. But I was so used to wearing them all the time that, like, taking them off, I wouldn't even register that I took them off. Even though I know my eyesight's worsened, my brain isn't registering that. It's just registering that my glasses should still be on my face.
So
That
there's
happened
also
to me.
a lot of validity to VRChat being used as a surveillance system
Mhm.
to watch people, see how they act, see how they react. Have you ever been
Like
sitting in a
Quest.
public
Sound off
world
the
and
alarm.
some random person comes up and says something just completely random that has nothing to do with anything you've been talking about, and now suddenly you're on a
The
conversation
dolphin-
about that thing?
I mean, bro, anytime I go to the casino, I have people watching my back every single night, waiting for me to get off the machine so they can take over.
So, okay, so just I'm going to do just a little overview of everything we've talked about today.
I do want to
Before we wrap up.
before you do, can I tell you one story, Turtle? Because I think this does kind of tie into what we just last talked about. Excuse me. I'll make this quick, I promise. I had a friend of mine whose cousin was in the army for several years. He did I think 3 tours in Iraq, and one tour in Afghanistan, 2 tours in Iraq, I believe. But during that time, you know, he's a seasoned soldier. He came home, and this was around the time when Dead Space came out, you know, for the PlayStation and for whatever consoles you have for Xbox.
Xbox and PlayStation.
So he played Dead Space, and he got so terrified of that he started sleeping with a gun under his pillow, as if it was almost like
Sounds like me.
PTSD. And whenever anyone knocked on the door, he would immediately grab for the gun under his pillow and immediately point it at the door, but he would not put his finger on the trigger unless
That's
he had
paranoid.
to.
That's just
Yeah, that's
But-
just being paranoid. That's
But it
completely
was
unrelated.
to
Yeah.
me like it was one of those like when you actually mention it, it's just like, does video games make an impact on your psyche? That's kind of what I drew from that.
Okay, circuitry. Let me put it like this. It depends on your depiction of reality versus what's not reality. because people see games differently. For me, I get extremely immersed when I play games. So, like, for me, yeah, I'm gonna get fucking terrified playing. I never finished Outlast. I had to get my cousin to finish it for me because I'm a fucking pussy boy when it comes to scary games. So, like, I get super immersed. But, like, for example, Turtle might not get super immersed in horror games, and it might not bother him as much as it would me.
I don't know if Turtle's ever played a horror game. Have you played a horror game?
Yes,
I'm
but
just
we're gonna
saying-
wrap up now because I was trying to wrap up and then, yeah. Anyway,
Sorry.
so just the real quick rundown of everything. VRChat is training AI on all of our interactions, all of our motions, every piece of information we input into VRChat. It's training AIs. 2, it's training these AIs to replace us and eventually allow us to upload our brains into the game and completely lose control of who we are. So that's the theory.
But hey,
take everything.
it's just
A conspiracy theory.
I just noticed you actually changed the title of your fucking Twitch stream.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
VRChat
it's no
Mind
longer
Upload.
VRChat Conspiracies. It's now the VRChat Mind Upload.
Nice.
Yep. And that's what the YouTube video will be called too. So anyway, thank you all for being here for episode, what was this, 67 of the Unpixel Podcast. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/Fruited01. You can also find every previous episode over on YouTube. There is the playlist on there. So you can go and watch all of the crazy interactions we've had and the conversations and all of the off-the-wall thinking we've had on this show. Yeah. Don't know what we're talking about next week. We're going to figure that out eventually.
Did Circuit
We're gonna
just
talk
die?
about how gay Turtle is next stream.
Okay, stop. Just no. Anyway, once again, thank you all for being here. We're going to go ahead and do the thing I do at the end of every episode. And
We got nothing to say.
Yeah, it sent me right back to the front. I don't know why.
you rejoined the world.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you
It-
did.
You did. You did.
No, I didn't click anything.
You might have not clicked anything, but you, as a user, you
Bro,
left
it
and
says on
came
my-
back into the world.
No, it says right now on my screen a network
Second
error
screen,
on
check
Twitch.
Discord.
Yes, and
Check
you
Discord.
so you just lost connection temporarily. You left the world and came back. So it didn't just send you back to spawn. You rejoined the instance.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't me. I didn't do it voluntarily.
Okay, I get that it was not you voluntarily, but you did it. Your character, your computer reconnected you. Anyway, shill yourself.
For fuck's sake. Bitch, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you whenever we get offline. But anyways, you can find me on Rumble. And also on Kick.
That
I
sounds
stream
fun.
simultaneously. I was going to stream this week. Unfortunately, we had a very severe situation. I'll go more in detail probably Monday. We'll talk about it. But you can go to my ex Twitter account. You can find everything there. All the links are available to Rumble and to Kick. Go over there, follow me on both of them. It helps a lot. Also, I'm probably going to be doing a fundraiser very soon because I am $5,000 in debt and I'm going to need some help. Thank you.
Okay. You shill something. Anything.
Black Hat Bingo. Never forget. No, never forget about the Black Hat Bingo. Make sure you join the group and play the game. The rules are in the group info. Only nubs.
We haven't done that in a
Join
long
only
time.
nubs. You don't fucking join only nubs. I swear to fuck. That paraput. I can't say that word, but him over there is gonna get angry.
He's a monoplegic.
Oh,
Why would I be angry?
That mon. I thought
Do you have something to shill?
Just trying to be nice.
Yeah, I started playing games on streaming on Twitch again. You can just look up my name off on Twitch, and I do late night streams. If you want to stop by and see me late night, between midnight and 2, that's when I start streaming.
Just don't want
Somebody
me on
finding
Friday
that
night.
plug. Yay.
Yay!
Okay. Let's
Back to my pissed off look.
bounce back to that. So anyway, any last words before I
Whiskey.
end everything?
Fuck it, Chicho. Never
Reality's
forget.
a hoax. Don't listen to the government. Everything's false.
I will say, I mean, there are a lot more conspiracies in the VR chat. Like,